Welcome to the Genetic Code. I'm your host, Jeanette Collins. This podcast is designed to take you one episode at a time on an intimate journey of your own personal transformation. Each podcast will have tools and techniques for you to practice in your daily life to create the very best version of you. Let's get started. Connection. Connection is a very important part of living. We first learn in utero the connection to our mother. It's everything for us. We can't live without her. She, in connection to us, takes care of every physical need. Then we enter this world vulnerable, and with that first experience of having the umbilical cord cut, we are freeing our connection from our mother in one aspect. Now we breathe on our own, eliminate on our own, and we feel hunger and distresses that weren't there before birth to some extent. As babies, the connection to our parents is so important. Babies are greatly comforted when they are close to their parents and touching them. This brings them peace. It's their connection to feel security outside the uterus. As we grow up and become toddlers, we develop a different way of connecting. We want our space a bit, but we need to see our parents to feel comfortable and safe. Just being able to see them brings peace and comfort and connection. As we grow and become young children, we practice making connections with siblings or cousins and friends. We are looking around in others to find out where we belong. We look for things similar and things that give us that feeling of connection again. The process begins to make a big shift as we become young adults. We see we are our parents' children. We see our friends and relatives, but we feel so separate from something. We desire deeply now independence and a sense of security with ourselves. This journey takes us into our 20s, and we have spouses, partners, and so forth. Something is missing. We can feel it. What connection is missing? What is it that brings us that sense of deep security and love? It's not complete in the connection even with others. What is needing to be fulfilled within us to bring us that deep sense of belonging and connection? The journey to become highly sensitive and remember our deeply intuitive connection to something greater within each of us. How connected are you to the deeper inner self that resides within you? What do you sense when you are silent and tune into the depths inside of you? Don't worry if you don't know yet, or if when you're silent on the outside, the inside is a running mess of noise. It's not about quieting that noise so much as it is about you taking your awareness and asking a broader question. What is that connection that inside of me that I have been aware of at different times in my life? You know that you felt it, even if it was small. The part of you that knows things has deep personal insights about you that aren't connected to the ego side of you. That connection where in some cases you just know to take a different road, to not date that person, to say something in a particular moment, to give something to a stranger, and so forth. What is this deeper you? It's quiet. It doesn't seek fanfare or notoriety. It's gentle, all-knowing, compassionate, sensitive, humble, courageous, truthful, loving, kind, wise, dedicated, loyal, and whole. We sense its presence within us our whole lives. We seek it deeply on the outside of us. Sometimes for years and years we try everything to feel that need to connect. We try it through many relationships or through money, houses, cars, jobs, popularity, food, sex, drugs, alcohol, etc. And while these external experiences can and do provide you with some sense of a connection, they always leave you lacking. Because deep within you, formed so intimately with you in every second of your existence, is this deeper you, the greater you, the you who has no start and no finish, the you that feels peace when everything around you is in chaos, the you that can feel nature and the air around you intimately, the you in moments as you are looking at the trees, feeling the sun on your face, and for that moment you feel connected to it all. That you that has glimpses or senses of a future moment, or a feeling that an outcome will be good. That you that seems to love everything and nothing at all. When we were small children, we lived very close to that side of ourselves, and we could barely tell there was a difference. I believe this is a precious gift that we each have, so that as we grow and become disconnected, we can tune back into when we were young, and how even when the events around us were in turmoil or discontent, we could go into the yard or our bedroom, and that feeling of connection deep within that you weren't totally alone was there. Unfortunately, as we grow, we have been taught to label that divine connection as your childish behaviors and your child beliefs, and that if it's not real, but that this hard, immovable reality of black and white, good or bad, right or wrong, is the real world. And we start to cover up that part of us that once knew and felt that connection. The connection to the clouds, the animals, nature, and everything seen and unseen. The cloak of reality that we lay over us is dense and heavy. We long to feel that freedom we once had, and as time goes on, we continue to reaffirm our belief that the ways we felt and the things we knew as children was all nonsense, and that we would eventually have to grow up and get real. But there is good news here. The innate knowings we all possessed as children never dies within us. It's only asleep, waiting to be awakened by our awareness that we long for this connection, this wholeness, this connection to everything and nothing. We can rekindle that fire and reconnect to our own divinity. How do we do this? There are tools and tips that have been left for us to remember. The great master teacher, Jesus, said to those seeking the way to connect to the divine within them, and he said in so many words, to become as little children, not to be childish, but childlike, to remember your imagination as creation, to remember that you don't need to take it all so serious, to play, to smile, to forgive, to let go, to share, to love the person that you are, to draw close to this divine knowing in your heart and to cultivate a relationship with it, to become very familiar with the way it speaks, the way it guides you, the way it blesses you and comforts you with divine truths, not the stories of man, but the truths that set you free. Feel the feeling inside you as you listen to the words on this podcast. Notice what deep inner longing is being stirred up within you. Feel the joy of knowing that it isn't lost. It's always there and always has been there and always will be there. And the more you pay attention to it, listen to it, sense it, it will grow and become second nature to you to live within this divine connection. Just as you once lived within your mother's womb, you will live within the love, connection, and wholeness of this deeper part of you, and not just on the surface, and with the surface you that doesn't know what this deeper part of you knows. It knows the way to joy, the way to freedom, the way to love, the way to wholeness, peace, and humility, and true greatness. You entered into this world in an experience of divine greatness, to literally bathe and be immersed in total oneness and connection. You breathed it in and lived intimately in it for 9 months of your journey here. The return to that knowing is within you, and your longing for it tells you that you have the knowing and that it's there. It's real and waiting for you to remember it. By choosing to become aware of that divine deeper you, you can't long for what isn't. We long for things that we know are real, so let's remember. The inner you speaks, and only you can hear it and respond. You need to be fearless to connect to this inner divine. Fear is separation, and you never fear what's truth. We fear our beliefs on separation and desperation and loss. To fear never finding peace, love, and connection is a lie by the fear itself. You are never not connected. So fearlessly believe again in your deep knowing. You're connected and have always been connected. And by cultivating it, you will become strong and undeniably real. T.S. Eliot said these words in his poem called Little Gidding. We shall not cease from exploration, and the end of all our exploring will be to arrive where we started and know the place for the first time through the unknown remembered gate. I invite you to remember your connection to the deeper, more intimate you, the unknown part of your divine self that you have been searching for so long. A beautiful reunion is waiting for you. Be fearless and gentle as you remember your connection and practice making that connection stronger than ever. Thank you for joining me on this podcast. Please share this with others and tune in next week for another chance to learn, grow, and become a part of the greatest journey on earth, the journey to transform yourself, to empower yourself, and to extend that love to the world. You are worth it.